Dalton. Referee for this fight is Tom Supnet.
Okay, so Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu versus Cage Kenbo here on Front Street Fights 28. Lane Dalton, Elliot McAbee inside the cage, and we are underway. Big fight. My goodness, right out of the gate. Both guys are going for this quickly. Dalton looking for some control, lifted him up quickly there. A nice job, though, by McAbee to maintain position. Dalton with the knees. Got to be careful there. He can't go too low. McAbee wrapped up against the cage there as Dalton throwing some blind knees.
He's doing a great job trying to get his elbows in, though.
That was a crazy flurry first few moments of this fight, but now both men wrestling for position. Both of them half went down there as they'll exchange. Big right there from Dalton. Dalton will get wrapped up there by McAbee and a nice throw to the ground. A good takedown.
Great takedown. Both men going after it.
So this is what we were talking about, right?
You just never know with the enemies.
You never know what's going to happen, and they're just going to go.
Less than a minute into our first round. Again, the amateur fights, 3 3-minute rounds. Dalton has McAbee pinned up against the cage here as McAbee's got the left arm wrapped around, trying to get out of this predicament. You could just see, though, as McAbee, he is just really crouched into that corner. I mean, from that position, I don't know how much you can really do.
So McAbee needs to,
He's going to have to protect himself here as Dalton with the big left hands raining down. Now looking for some control on the backside. McAbee in some trouble here, getting his fists up here to try to take some of the blows here with 90 seconds remaining in our first round. Dalton got to his feet momentarily, and it looks like
he's doing a good job of locking down that leg.
Yes.
So the far side leg.
I was going to say, McAbee needs to get that out if he wants to get that out,
right? He can't stand up. He made the mistake of standing up with that, trying to stand up with that leg outside, and that's what made that susceptible.
And that's a deep choke in. Is he able to get under the chin as McAbee bleeding there from in between the eyes? Dalton's got some pretty convincing position here with a minute remaining in our first round. Can McAbee survive for another 55 seconds?
And McAbee's doing a great job defending the hands, but that choke is finishable with one arm.
Yeah, he definitely can finish it with one arm.
McAbee in a tough situation here, trying to block the big left hands coming in as he will get up.
All right.
Great defense.
He's able to get back to his feet. Let's see what he can do to finish this round out strong. He's got 30 seconds, and a lot can happen in 30 seconds in a fight.
Anything can be over in an instance in this exciting fort as McAbee showing the will to continue, the 39-year-old.
I'd like to see McAbee put a little more weight down on that right side. Make it a little more heavy for Dalton.
Yeah, use the cage a little more to kind of put that weight.
Final 10 seconds here is Dalton and McAbee exchanging some big punches. I think Dalton actually connected with a good one as he'll throw some knees here. Big left hand.
All right.
And that'll be the first round.
Let's see what happens now. Now here's the part we talk about with the recovery, right, between rounds. Will he be able to recover quickly enough to come back out fresh?
And it looks like McAbee took a shot there to the left side of his face. I will tell you, as he looked down here at the commentator's table, he did have a smile on his face.
I personally love when I start bleeding.
And look at this exchange back and forth as Dalton throws McAbee down to the ground. Great takedown.
Excellent lateral drop, right? Spun him right into the cage. That's where you want to put him. I want to use the cage and the mat as like two friends of mine to help me hold this guy down and get to a good position where I can start throwing some shots.
And tell me about the work of McAbee being able to get up out of that position.
Oh, that's a tough position to get out of, so I'm sure he's feeling it right now, but that was great.
Okay, so that first round likely Lane Dalton's. Again, we are not the official scorers, but we are watching this alongside everyone at home. You're tuned into Front Street Fights 28, presented by Project Filter. Round 2 here of our third amateur bout of the night. Elliot McAbee and Lane Dalton.
He wants to take a look at him and see if we should continue. I think that's a good call.
Oh, yeah.
You know, especially for amateurs.
Concern there of the cut. Is it under the eye or is it above the eye? I can't quite see.
It looks above the eye.
Yeah, it was right above the eye. He had
Under
two.
the eye.
It had two good knots right here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there you can see it.
In terms of blood getting into the eye, of course, everyone's seen the legendary UFC fights where guys are just covered in blood. How hard is it to fight when you're dealing with the blood and the sweat coming down your face?
Oh, I personally never been that bloody before, so I couldn't tell you, but blood, you're slippery, right? It gets in your eyes. It definitely makes it hard.
McAbee went with the front kick quickly, as we're going to see a little bit of a rush here, struggling for position as, again, you see Lane Dalton trying to use the wrestling here to get him down. Big shot there to the midsection. McAbee does a good job to sprawl there, though, to stay up on his 2 feet.
Yeah, Dalton's doing a good job of taking the game where he wants it to go, which is into the grappling range.
McAbee using his footwork to try to do anything to escape this grip here from Dalton as the two will swap positions into the cage.
That was good. You know, it's expensive to be on the other side of that where you're trying to take somebody down and you can't.
All the effort, all the energy used.
Man, you burn. It's metabolically expensive, man. You burn.
And Dalton will try to drag him down here. McAbee, though, sitting right in front of us here. He's on one knee as both men are kind of into the cage now. Dalton with the heavy hand there. Left hand's coming into McAbee. McAbee, though, able to kind of block those with the palm of his hands as Dalton really throwing, looking to see if he can get a choke here in from behind. There's a big right hand onto the back of the head of McAbee. McAbee looking down at the ground as he's got some blood pouring out there. Seeing some big right hands back and forth now from Dalton as the referee will call this one off.
I think that was a good call.
We'll have to talk to the referee later, but why do you think that was stopped?
He was starting to bleed a lot. He's taking a lot of damage. He's an amateur, so you don't want to roll the dice on that. Plus, he really wasn't defending himself at a certain point. He just was kind of hanging on.
He was able to catch some of those, those heavy hands with the palm, but the way that Dalton was able to kind of switch levels and switch angles, it's hard to, especially blindly, keep your hand up.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not stopping the force coming through. All your hand's on your head, but they're punching their hand, the force goes right through it.
Okay, so for the third fight in a row to kick off Front Street Fight 28, a second round finish. This one will also be scored a TKO for the 21-year-old, but we will get to the inside of the ring here in a minute. Again, a very, very exciting sport, and the ability for these guys to step into the octagon, step inside the cage, knowing what they could go through, especially a guy like McAbee, a 39-year-old who's just getting into his career here. Unbelievable. But yeah, let's take a look here. Paul, what do you see out of this final shots?
Yeah, so we're seeing him, he's landing shots clean without a whole lot of defense, and at that point, yeah, McAbee's basically just covering and not trying to launch any kind of counteroffensive. I think it's a good call. It's hard, when you're in there, I don't want the ref to stop it, but at the same time, I want my guys to be safe.
It's also such a tough position for that referee to be in, especially in an amateur bout, because you don't want to be the referee that reaches in there and the guy pops up and he says, "I'm good."
Yeah, for sure.
Reffing is a hard job.
Oh, yeah. You think
definitely.
fighting's hard? How about everybody yelling at the ref?
Yeah, exactly. He needs an escort to his car after the fight.
Yeah. Well, great officials we have tonight from the Idaho State Athletic Commission, who, of course, commissions these fights, sanctions these fights. I'll tell you, though,
of will.
he looks good, though.
And,
McAbee looks happy.
He was for it. He was down.
This might be a silly question, but, how many amateurs, especially, later in their 30s, are doing this as a hobby? Some guys like to golf, some guys like to get in the cage.
Yeah.
Send it to Jim Strong.
Has been called at 1 minute and 13 seconds of the second round. By TKO, your winner, fighting out of the red corner, Lane Dalton! Lane, nice job, man. You came out of there. Did a great job for Dark Horse tonight. You had a lot of fans that were coming out here tonight listening. I heard a whole bunch of fans listen for you. How'd you think the fight went for you?
It went about as planned. I'm always able to take people down, so we worked on holding them down, dealing damage, and that's what we did.
Great fight. How are you feeling right now? You feeling okay?
Feel good. I'm going to go hang out and party after this.
All right. What's next? What's the next lane for you?
Whoever wants to fight me, that's what's next.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lane Dalton.
Okay, so the 21-year-old, he's ready to get out there and fight and drink and have a good old time out there. But
Oh, yeah.
very exciting. Okay.